Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win or you find a way to lose. Drama or damage or both. Has the Gwoatie brand gone too far? That's what we're trying to figure out. And you know what? The reality is, boxing fans are divided. You know what I'm saying? Some people think that Clarissa's just being bullied. Some people think Clarissa's the bully. Some are neutral. But everyone has an opinion. But just listen to this.
Speaking. My name is Sherry, and I'm calling about the foolishness that he's speaking about Claressa still, because that's not all that she said. He's so full of shit. I'm sorry, crap. Don't make no sense. And she is so right. They're just looking to hate her about anything. She didn't compare herself. You're so silly. You and all these other people. All anything y'all can say about Claressa Shield is something negative. What she said was that the bodysuit was going to be neutral, and she said it's not going to be diamonds, because I can't afford that. It'd be like crystals. She said her girls. That's what she said. She did not compare herself to Muhammad Ali, LeBron James. She was just basically saying, y'all treated them the same way y'all treating her right now, until after it was over. But every time y'all want to open your mouth, they want to say something negative about that woman. Y'all need to get a life. Y'all the one that's causing the drama.
Okay, now let's play that again, because this person here, I don't know who they are, but I'm going to tell you, you're clueless.
My name is Sherry, and I'm
So her name is Sherry.
calling about the foolishness that he's speaking about Claressa still, because that's not all that she said. He's so full of shit. I'm sorry, crap.
So I don't know if she said crap or pap.
Don't make no sense. And she is so right. They're just looking to hate her about anything.
So she feels that everyone is just looking to hate Claressa Shields about anything, even though Claressa said, drama sells. She's all about the drama. She said she's going to be the algorithm on the internet. And Claressa has gone out of her way to be the villain intentionally. And we all know what she's doing. And we talk about it because Claressa gets free promotion. And she knows that. And she likes that. And she's okay with that as long as people aren't, calling her all kind of names, which I don't do. So you who left the message, you're not properly informed and you're making judgments and you don't know what you're talking about. And Clarissa's probably laughing at you right now.
She didn't compare herself. You're so silly. You and all these other people. All anything y'all can say about Claressa Shield is something negative. What she said was that the bodysuit was going to be neutral, and she said it's not going to be diamonds, because I can't afford that. It'd be like crystals. She said her girls. That's what she said.
No, that's not what she said. You know what I'm saying? She said for women to come out there naked with diamonds, nude with diamonds. Okay? And she didn't just say for a specific group. She's encouraging everyone to come out there, her supporters. The people who are coming out are supporting Claressa Shields, and the Gwotie's. But it's that whole, I would say that whole pool of people who support her. And that is what she wants. Now, will it happen? No. But then she did come out and say, if y'all can't afford diamonds, because she suggested that she couldn't afford it too, but wear whatever you want. But that is what she called for. So again, you blind to the fact.
She did not compare herself to Muhammad Ali, LeBron James. She was basically saying, y'all treated them the same way y'all treating her right now.
Okay, she didn't compare herself to LeBron James, Michael Jordan, what you're saying, but then you say she's basically saying that you're treating her the way you treated them. That's a fucking comparison, okay? And she has gone out here and said, Muhammad Ali's number one, she's number two. And she has compared herself to them, talking about who talks trash like she talks trash. That's a comparison. And she's talking about LeBron James and those guys not being liked, and Michael Jordan until after they retired, and Serena Williams. She always compares herself to them, to Serena Williams, and she has mentioned this. And that's not a bad thing. And we are going to talk about it, and she talks about it. So you just all emotional, man. You need to take a chill pill because you don't know what you're talking about.
Until after it was over. You know, but every time y'all want to open your mouth, they want to say something negative about that woman. Y'all need to.
That's opinion. Opinion, which you're entitled to. And I would advise you call in. I think you're the person who called in the other night. I think this is the one the other night who was basically saying what she was with a married man and all that. I think this is the same person. I'm not sure. I think so.
Get a life. Y'all the one that's causing the drama. Leave that girl alone. Give her props. Y'all so stupid. Remy Ma this, Remy Ma that. Why ain't nobody talking about all the dirt she did?
So here it is. You got somebody who's emotionally invested, doesn't know Claressa. Claressa doesn't know her. I can assure you that Claressa don't care one shit about this person. Probably call her a broke bum. You know what I'm saying? Claressa don't care about you. Claressa focused on herself, trying to grow her brand and profile, focusing on Zeus. The money moves they're trying to make over there, her, Papoose, Win Records, Zeus, Demetrius Leader. She don't care about you.
And she funded it all in that man's face. Oh, but that was okay. Y'all need to grow that.
And talking about Remy, listen, this is the shit that gets me. Everyone knows I don't talk about Remy, right? But if you're going to talk about Remy or someone else, talk about everything. You know what I'm saying? So this person here, I don't know who it is. I think it's one from the other night. I'm not sure. The one from the other night seemed pretty decent. We had a conversation. But this person here, not properly informed, ranting and raving. And these are the kind of people that Claressa need to really. She don't want, trust me, Claressa doesn't want you speaking on their behalf. And I sure as hell wouldn't want you speaking on my behalf because you're not properly informed and you get whole shot through you, man, through your argument, through your debate. You wouldn't last 10 seconds in a debate with me or anyone else because you don't know what you're talking about.
Stupid.
She calls everybody stupid. Now, she sounds like she about, I don't know how old she is. But putting all of that emotion and all of that investment in someone who doesn't care about you. You know what I'm saying? This is the internet. Most of us don't know each other. A couple of relationships are formed and stuff like that. But for the most part, the majority of people out here that like how she go in the back, Claressa don't care about her. Papoose don't care about her. Shit. Make you wonder, most people think Papoose don't even care about Claressa, and Claressa maybe just use Pap to become famous. You know what I'm saying? But that's what I'm saying. The drama, that right there, that phone call, is what Claressa wants. She wants the drama. She wants people to talk about her. And that's why I'm like, oh, great phone call. You know I'm going to play that because I'm all about the conversation too. This is good stuff right here. Content gold. You better believe Claressa sit back and she be eating her popcorn or her beef jerky or whatever the hell she eating, that Puerto Rican fish, and she just be there laughing with her leafy vegetables. As long as we talking, Claressa and her team feel that they're winning. You know what I'm saying? But it comes back to what I was saying. Drama or damage, and that's the public disagreement. You know what I mean? Some people who feel like the caller, others who disagree. And I just think that conversation, let me move this out the way, is really centered on, I think a lot of the conversation you're hearing these days is centered on the comments that Claressa makes when, she involves someone like Shadesha Green, Alicia Baumgartner, Layla Ali, Amanda Serrano. There's no need for Claressa to be talking about these people. But I understand what Big Gwoatie's doing. And she has figured it out, man. She's figured out how to go viral, stay viral, and command the attention of the public. We've talked about it before. I'm telling you, man, it's damn near genius how she's figured out how to do it. And she didn't just get the attention and fizzle off. No, Claressa has kept the attention of people for quite some time now. Probably since August of last year when I really started talking about the drama. But before that, I just talked strictly boxing and her boxing. Everyone know my channel, they talk about that shit. But I talk about it more now because it's boxing and it's interesting. And I think Claressa and I have somewhat of a connection. But the bottom line is Claressa has figured out how to get people like this caller to get them to get all worked up, but she's sitting back laughing. She don't care. You see, athletes publicly disagreeing. about what was or wasn't said. Okay. About what was or wasn't said, it shifts the attention away from the sport itself and towards interpersonal conflict. And remember, everything stems from boxing. Everything stems from sport. But when you have a bunch of trash talk going on, like what Claressa has done and initiated, and she has got responses from some people, but you have the interpersonal conflict. And content creators are going to speak on it. But as a result, some fans don't realize what's going on. They understand this shit ain't nothing but a game. So they get divided. But don't expect content creators to stop talking. It ain't gonna stop. Y'all think y'all ain't seen nothing yet. Wait till next year Claressa and Papoose don't get married and she don't have a baby for the third year in a row. You watch. Y'all think y'all getting all worked up now? You wait till next year. Because next year, there'll probably be 1,000 more people creating content on Claressa Shields. You watch. It's like out here in Texas, and there's houses just keep popping up everywhere. Everybody moving down here to Texas, and people moving to the south to cheaper areas in Georgia and shit like that, because they can sit there, man, and come out here and make money. They sell their house up there in NY or Boston or wherever, sell that shit cash, sell that shit and come down here with cash and buy a house cash, flat out cash. You know what I'm saying? Because it's their head is where the money's at. That's how these content creators are. But I will say, from a branding standpoint, man, repeated public disputes can become part of an athlete's identity. Whether it's intentional or it's not, it happens. And that's what's happened with Claressa Shields, man. Her public disputes have become part of her brand now. She is no longer viewed as a gold medalist. We know that. Like, no one, it's not even the conversation. It's big Gwoatie drama. It is what it is. And you know what? She knows drama sells. She came out and did an interview today, and she was talking, and she said that out of her mouth. You know what I'm saying? And she was like, everyone talked about everything that I did in the past up until, her, Papoose, the drama, the disputes and all that. Claressa knows what she's doing. She knows exactly what she's doing. And she don't have no problem with people out here creating content on it. She could tell she doesn't like when they go, be calling names and shit, but I ain't gonna get into that because she says a lot of shit too. But it doesn't feel good, and no one's right, but it doesn't feel good to have somebody calling you names and doing all that. It can make you want to hurt somebody, you know what I mean? But you got to understand, it's the internet. The internet ain't real. But I'll say this, from a marketing perspective, the fact that she's publicly acknowledged that controversy can attract attention and that she has all the attention, I just think the idea, it has some basis. But I'll say this, in sports entertainment, controversy generates a few things, right? And Claressa has generated a lot of this. Social media engagement. Everybody talks about Claressa Shields. Headlines. She's the headline of everything. Look at, you go on the internet and just boxing and Claressa Shields everywhere. She's everywhere. And go in and click on lives and look at the amount of lives in Claressa Shields, Claressa, Papoose, Remy, this, Claressa, Gwoatie, this, Flint, this, Claressa. It's everywhere. Now she hooked up with Zeus. Zeus got millions and millions of followers. Claressa's all over their page. So we may not agree with what they're doing, but they have figured out a way to keep her name going. Now she's attached to Zeus. That means her name is just up and away. That's not necessarily a good thing, but what it means is the social media engagement is there, the headlines are there, the interviews are going to be there, there's going to be more debate, just like the person called in and feels that, I'm talking crap and people are talking crap. I think she's full of shit personally. I think she's clueless. And I think she's biased, and I think she doesn't want to have a fair conversation. You got to be able to hear both sides. Those people like that, they're easy to destroy in a debate because they only come in there prepared to talk about what they want to argue. If I'm going to come to a debate, I'm going to come in a kind of posture to where I've already tried to destroy my argument. So I'm basically trying to anticipate any and everything you could say to make me look crazy. So when you talk, I have the counteraction. I can cross-examine you. You know what I'm saying? But again, this is kind of where we're at when it comes to Claressa Shields. Now, she has mentioned Shadesha Green's name. And I'm going to tell you, that's crazy. because they come out there and they're saying all kind of stuff about Shadacia's chilling right now. She there in the breeze. You know what I mean? Taking things day to day, appreciating the small things. You know what I'm saying? Shadacia, why is her name even mentioned? But they'll come out and say little stuff about, Shadacia and she fought someone and the person I fought retired her. Her and Papoose, Claressa and Papoose both. You know what I mean? He the same shit, but they're about drama. They both are intentionally doing this. So for anyone who's like, nah, I don't know, remember, now you know Papoose has everything to do with it. Because look at what comes out of his mouth. Even when he sat there and said this stuff about, win records being the future of boxing, this and that, and people take it how they want. I'm paraphrasing, but he said it right in front of Demetrius Salita. How is that acceptable? Basically, trash Demetrius Salita is a guy who kind of helped bring them into the sport and allowed them to attach themselves to Claressa. So drama, you know what I'm saying? But I just want to tell you, they got the attention, but there's a difference between attention and trust. Not many fans trust Claressa Shields and trust Win Records and even Papoose and Demetrius Salita right now. That trust has gone out the window, man. But you got to understand this. Like, I try to do a little research before I get on here and talk about like psychology and sports psychology and branding experts and kind of get their perspectives on all this, man. And they can distinguish between attention and trust. And what they'll tell you when it comes to attention, it's easy to generate, and trust takes years to build. And they say when it comes to Claressa Shields' situation with Win Records, Papoose, Demetrius Salita, Zeus, that she got the attention, but they're not doing anything to earn the trust. And that's why there's no big time sponsorships and branding deals. And she's just kind of there in a holding pattern. They're still trying to figure it out because they haven't established trust and a positive reputation. And I'm gonna tell you this right now. I know this just from years of experience being involved with different things on a personal and professional level without getting too in depth. Trust is what sustains long term. And for boxing, I would say fan loyalty and sponsorships and business relationships. Trust and attitude. Attitude. Because when you have trust and when you have the right attitude, ultimately, that more than likely means you're pretty damn professional. You know what I'm saying? And once you can find a way to maintain your professionalism throughout any and every situation, more than likely, it's up and away for you and whatever you touch. Because it's hard to find people who, what I would say, man, are thorough. Aren't many people who are thorough, inside out. And see, this is what Claressa is not. This is what Layla Ali is. This is what Shadacia Green is. This is what Alicia Baumgartner is becoming. That's why you can see she's up and away on MVP. This is why you can see Amanda Serrano's thorough in and out. She's still human, you see a little post she puts out there. But for the most part, they know when to turn the things on and turn things off. And there's nothing wrong with that. Mayweather knew when to turn things on, turn things off. She talked about Michael Jordan, man. Everyone say Michael Jordan and training and stuff like that, that he was very bullheaded. And he was very hard to deal with because he was a guy who was really committed to getting the best out of himself, out of his teammates. He was very competitive. But the bottom line is, all of these guys we're talking about, even LeBron James and Serena Williams, none of Serena Williams, I don't know this thing about Claressa comparing us to Serena. I don't know anything about Serena having no bad attitude. But what I can tell you is, people know when to turn things off. With Claressa, she doesn't turn it off. That's the problem. She doesn't turn it off. She's always on, green light, go. You know what I'm saying? And that's why there's such a risk, because with Claressa, it's constant conflict. You know what I mean? I'm not making that up. She's had constant conflict. That's why she's commanded the headlines. When you have athletes that are repeatedly involved in public disputes, people start to associate them with controversy rather than competition. So for the caller who's like, it's you all, it's you all, it's not her, it's you all, it's not us. Nobody would talk about her if she wasn't giving us constant conflict, constant drama. Just like you call in. Because you like this shit too. You watching the videos too. You like it too. I'm sure you watch every content creator who puts something out on Claressa Shields because you like it. You caught up in the sauce. You know what I'm saying? You said content creators should find something to do. How about this? I'm retired. How about this? I got money coming up my fucking ass. I just worry about my health. That's it. You can learn a lot from people. Just like I sit back and observe and listen to people, man. I let them talk. I listen. You got to learn that quality. It ain't us. Claressa gives us the content. This YouTube shit, for some of us, it's just fried rice and chicken wings money. Matter of fact, I plan on start taking a little bit of dirt money, a little bullshit, couple $100. But I'm gonna start giving it back to people in the on the channel, doing little giveaways and shit like that. Because it's just fried rice and chicken wings money. I'll give it back to these people. But you know, people be out here just making all kind of assumptions about people. Who has what? Who doesn't have what? Man, you better take your ass to work at that airport and sniff that luggage, and quit coming out here talking shit about the people on my channel and the conversation we have and other content creators. You better go out there and do something. Cook. Don't you have some? Go cook something. You know what I mean? Barbecue. It's 4th of July. You got fireworks going off on 2 July. You should be prepping. Go cut the goddamn yard. Get ready to do something nice for your family. You out here ranting and raving. Go on. Take a goddamn cold shower. A chill pill. Go eat you some fried rice and chicken wings. Or hold your horse and stop taking it to the stupid. But when you got these athletes always in these public disputes, fans may begin to associate them with controversy rather than competition. And that's why media narratives are affected. It sounds like there's not any, big time sponsorship opportunities. The public perception is Claressa is, a villain. And that's what she wanted. And then her relationship with the sport of boxing is trash now. You know what I'm saying? People don't want her associated with their brand. They don't want her fighting their fighters. Nobody want to work with her. And is she the biggest name in women's boxing? I don't know if I want to say that, but I say she's one of. We can argue on any day that she may be the big number 1, number 2, or number 3. It's really easy to have that debate. You know what I'm saying? It's really easy depending on what criteria you use to determine who's the biggest name in women's boxing. But does she have the most attention? Yes. That doesn't mean she's the biggest name. Remember, everyone has their own criteria. That's why the debate is never ending. But what I will say is the constant conflict and the attention and the drama. Now, whether that ultimately is helping her or hurting her, I think it's hurting her. But I think it depends on how, depending on how she's got to start now though, how she manages all of this drama going forward. I mean, that's going to determine whether it's helping or hurting her. Because right now, anyone who follows my channel, when we're live, you know what I always say. Claressa Shields and her team, they have done a great job at amassing like this huge mountain of clay. Okay, you got it here. Y'all went out there, man, toted that barge, lift that bell, and you rolled and rolled and rolled and rolled till you got this big old mass of clay the size of a goddamn 2-story building, a 2-story house. What you gonna do? You gotta sculpt that shit. And maybe they sculpt it and get something nice, or they go still trying to figure out what to do. And by the time they whittle away, there's nothing left. And you got, instead of this big ball of clay, this big massive clay, you got this small mass of the same thing clay that's taking no shape and not attractive to anybody. So that's why you got to know what you're doing. You got the attention on what you're going to do with it. Because in my opinion, it looked like there's more hurt than help for what they've done with Claressa's brand. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to tell you right now, one of the biggest problems that she'll never overcome this is disrespecting the Ali family. Every now and then when I drop a video, I'll mention that. That was just a stupid move. This lady who called in, want to call people stupid. You know what's stupid? How about you? First, you're stupid, okay, for coming out here and condoning Claressa being foolish to, I think, to be influenced to really ratchet down in her pursuit of a massive payday by disrespecting not just Claressa, but starting to mention her deceased father, Muhammad Ali, may he rest in peace. That's ridiculous, man. Now, I know Claressa has some family and some stuff going on. No one should ever mention anything about anything going on with anyone's family and the deceased. That's just the way I feel. The off limits. But I have heard some people saying some things, and I'm like, even I was like, yo, that, what are you doing? You can unsubscribe to my channel. I had to tell 2 people earlier today, unsubscribe from me because you ain't gonna do that on my channel. I don't care how much you dislike her. Like that's crazy. That's me as a person. Fuck her champion. Me as a person. Like it's just certain lines we don't cross here. And when it comes to the deceased, you don't do that. This is the internet. Nothing's real on here. But if I gotta keep it real, I'm gonna keep it real. And I'm telling you, man, that we don't do that. But Claressa made that move, and that was one of the worst moves she could have made. And then to even come out here, man, with someone like Shadesha, her and Pat Pools celebrating after Shadesha collapsed off a stool and all that in the ring. That's what just lets me know. Papoose say he's a boxing this, he studied boxing. Man, you don't study nothing. I don't think you have no respect for the sport or nothing. Because as soon as you saw, I said that when I was watching it. It's like, okay, they stopped the fight. She lost. Everyone knows I'm a Shadesha Green fan. But when I saw her collapse off the stool, I immediately said, uh-oh, could be something bleeding on the brain. And everything got serious for me at that point. And I'd be like that with anybody. I'm always like that. It could be Claressa Shields. Claressa could be fighting and someone be whipping ass. I'm like, oh, they're putting the bing bings on the Gwoatie. Claressa talk the talk, can't walk the walk. I be making my jokes. As soon as she tries to sit on the stool, Claressa were to collapse, I'd be like, stop. Hold on a second. Oh, shit. Big Gwoatie. Fuck, like she got bleeding on the brain. She collapsed on the stool. The joking stops. And see, that's why I think some people have been punched in the face. You know what I'm saying? Some people have been punched in the face. That's the problem. They ain't really never boxed. They did no combat, nothing. They been hit in the face. They haven't hit people in the face. They haven't boxed. So you can't possibly have respect and really understand what's going on. You see somebody collapse, that's just a bad sign. So for her to even mention Shadesha Green's name and Papoose to even now mention Shadesha Green's name to help promote the fight, that's all they doing. They seeking the drama. They'll say and do anything to just hype up Claressa Shields and her fights. And I get it. I've been watching boxing a long time, just like a lot of y'all. I get it. I get it, man. Don't mean I agree. I get it. Trying to make fights, trying to make money, trying to promote. Everything is about attention. It's about money. I get it. But I just think with someone like Claressa Shields don't need to go that far. Claressa's name is bubbling. She doesn't, like mentioning Shadesha Green does nothing but irk people. Mentioning Layla Ali irks people. Mentioning Amanda Serrano, Alicia Baumgartner, it irks people. But that's what they want because they know content creators are going to talk about it. You know, there's 3 content creators. If you say something about Alicia, there's one, he's going to go buck wild and defend her. You say something about Amanda Serrano, there's one who's going to go buck wild and defend her. And if you say something about Hannah Gabriel, Shadesha Green, or Layla Ali, there's another guy out here. I don't know him, but he'll probably go buck wild and say something to defend them. You know what I'm saying? So there are certain female fighters who have content creators where they just have a connection. And the thing is with me, you know, if I talk to you and get to know you, that's not enough. I got to really get to feel you out and know you, what kind of person you are for me to put my neck on the line. And if Claressa was somebody who was solid, I'd do the same thing for her, but that's not her. You know what I'm saying? She's not that. Claressa will do and say whatever she has to try to get the goddamn Wu-Tang cream cha-ching ching dollar bill, y'all. But that's why I'm mentioning this, because I don't think she really wants a relationship with women's boxing anymore. You know, I think Claressa may feel that she's above them. And that's why she wants to keep the attention, but she continues to have make these public statements about Layla or Shadesha, you know what I'm saying? Every now and then she'll say things. But I'm just saying, making these statements and what creates a bit of a public conflict between Claressa and fans about these athletes, it affects how she's perceived by fans and her peers. And it's not good. Now, this whole thing about comparing aspects of her experience to the highly accomplished athletes like LeBron James, Michael Jordan, and Serena Williams. Look, fans naturally debate comparisons when you get everyone operating at a certain level, top 1%. Some will focus on competitive achievements, others focus on leadership, public image, professionalism. But I would say this, different audiences value different aspects of an athlete's legacy. And depending on the audience, they're either open or closed to the conversation and to the comparisons. Because with Claressa Shields right now, she has turned so many people off. They can't stomach the idea of trying to compare her to anyone like a Michael Jordan, anyone like a LeBron James, anyone like a Serena Williams, because of attitude. Attitude. She the top 1% of her of boxing? Yeah, but so is, a couple others. But was she the top 1% in the amateurs? Yeah, she got 2 gold medals. That matters. But at the end of the day, just because of your accomplishments doesn't mean you deserve to be in a conversation with them. Because when you look at whole person concept, that matters. And when you start talking about that, there's a lot of different variables that get involved. And Claressa probably doesn't deserve to be in that conversation. I don't think she ever will be because of the amount of destruction she's caused. I didn't do it. She's done it. She talked about money. She talked about violence. She talked about sex. There's nothing she hasn't talked about. And I don't know of LeBron, Michael, and Serena talking about any of that crazy shit openly in front of anybody, being disrespectful to people, going into people's DMs. And I know people that troll Claressa, but I don't know about her. I don't know about anybody doing anything like remotely close to what she's done. Okay, so she's not like them, and to me, she shouldn't talk about what they've gone through and compare herself to them. It's not the same. It's not the same. Will Claressa be appreciated when she retires? I doubt it. By some of her diehard fans, but no. History books, she's a part of American sporting history. She's an Olympian. But they'll talk about it, but it won't be positive. Because she's taken the brand, the Gwoatie brand, the villain brand, way too far. This isn't something, I'm just not shooting from the hip here. She's taking it way too far. And you got to look at the ultimate goal. Money, attention, 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 money, money, money. So she destroyed her brand. She destroyed everything. And when they come back and the history books are written, they will talk about Claressa being a part of American sporting history, the only woman in the United States to win 2 gold medals. They'll talk about that because it's a big deal, but they'll also talk about the other things that will overshadow those accomplishments. It won't be positive. It will not be positive. And that's just being real. But I don't think she really wants to be part of women's boxing anymore. I think she wants to create a new wave, create her own kind of niche, and just see if it works. That's why she's going the direction she's going. And Papoose and the Win Records and Dimitri Solidas seem to be okay with going this direction with Zeus. Zeus may be the new thing for people to do. I'm just not learning about this Zeus network. And telling you, it seems like the whole world is watching it. But this public controversy, I just don't understand why somebody would want to run towards public controversy. But then if you want the attention and you want the drama and you want your name out there, maybe that's why. But there are several reasons a person would do that. I think they want to stay relevant between fights. So you do something to keep your name bubbling. Tyson Fury is notorious for doing little things between fights, where they say he's going to retire or this and that. Always dropping little things to get people talking to keep his name out there. Mayweather's good. He knew when to say something. Right around the time Gwoatie Davis was going to fight, he would say some shit, get people talking. So there's a lot of people who know how to use the media and how to create controversy, man, to stay relevant between fights. A lot of people believe any publicity is good publicity. They will go and say, forget what I have going on in my personal life. I'm going to drive some external conflict, and I'm going to use that external conflict to get attention, but also as motivation going into my next fight. And then they'll also do that, man, to, create and control the media narrative because this is something they put out, they create it, and they can control it. And this whole thing about adopting a villain persona. That's just self-promotion, man. You know, that's Claressa has really zoned in on self-promotion. But again, I don't see the wins. And I'm going to ask again, like I always ask, if someone can name one celebratory moment, then we got something. But we don't. Not that I know of. You know what I'm saying? Not for someone who's supposed to be the face of women's boxing, the greatest woman of all time. Big vote. So, long-term question. I just say a lot of these risks that she's taking, the controversy overshadows the athletic accomplishments right now. And I think every athlete eventually asks, what do I want people to remember me for? Claressa doesn't seem to be asking herself that question right now. What do I want people to remember me for? I don't think she's asking herself that because I wonder what her answer is. Like Claressa, if you want, I'm asking you, what do you want people to remember you for? Championships, historic achievements, rivalries, controversy, drama, sex, money, murder. What you want people to remember you for? Because I'm telling you right now, the wins and losses matters. People remember you for your wins, and if you never lose, they'll say she never lost. But I also say this: when it comes to these other things like championships, historic achievements, when it comes to rivalries, when it comes to controversy, they also ultimately shape your legacy as much as your wins and losses. And I'm gonna leave it as that. And for the person who called in, feel free to call into the live, and we can disagree. You know what I'm saying? But you know, all that talking slick stuff, you know, her championing into disrespecting any ladies. But if you call in acting crazy, you know, I'm either gonna have patience and work through it, or I'm not gonna see you as a lady. I may say something back to you, or I'm gonna hang up on you. But more than likely, I'll probably either take a deep breath and be like, all right, I'll talk to you if you clean it up, or I'll hang up on you. But you ain't ready for no debate with me, so stop. Cause I don't say positive things about Claressa. Fuck out of here. Everyone knows her champion. Some people think that, oh, you're biased to her because I will talk about the good she does. I will talk about all the great things she's done as an amateur, as a pro. I will talk about how I feel she's throwing shit away because she shouldn't be going this direction. I talk about everything. I talk about everything. I talk about the bullshit too. So you got to be able to talk about everything as well because you said nothing. You just came out here, man, you know, just this emotional rant, talking out your cocker hole. Don't be a seagull flying in, dropping shit off, and then fly back out. Nah, you're going to be Al Capone, go all the way. Call into the live, 929-839-0679. And don't call during the day because the message came to another phone. I got like 4 phones in here. And I was like, who the hell is this? And then I realized, oh, you were calling the work phone and shit. So, that's the only reason why I got that message because it came to another one of my phones because of the profiles. And I'm like, what the fuck? But yeah, so now other than that, I don't acknowledge nothing until I get in here around 9 o'clock. Anyway, y'all keep cool. Claressa Shields, what she want people to remember her for? K. Scott fight? I mean, come on now. In the breeze.